what is up, everybody? Gookill TV here. You know what? It's been a long time. That's kind of an understatement. It's been a really long time since I posted any sort of content on YouTube. It's been a long time since I've streamed on Twitch TV, and you know, one of the reasons that's happened is real life, work and everything gets in the way. But one of the bigger reasons that's happened is that, you know, I really wanted to make a dedication to Season 3, Diablo 3. You know, I really wanted to push for the top of the leaderboards, and at about the time I stopped playing, I was doing pretty good for myself. You can see here that I had gotten up to tier 53, which now, you know what, is it still, yeah, you know what, I haven't played for a very, very long time, and I still managed right here to find a place on the leaderboards on the top 1,000, which means that in order to place, I'm probably going to have to keep playing a little bit, so I'll probably dedicate a little bit more time to Diablo 3, maybe stream it. But the big reason I ended up stopping is because there's just some core problems with Diablo 3 that I really don't like, and unfortunately with today's latest PTR patch, I don't really see an end in sight. So I'm gonna enter the game here, and I'm just gonna be a little bit of a rant video just to kind of go and show some of the problems that I think Diablo has right now, and why it's discouraging to somebody like me who doesn't necessarily have a bunch of time and hours to invest into the game. And I'm sure that some of these opinions are going to cause some controversy with people who play the game a lot and who think that people who invest a lot of time into the game should be rewarded optimally for that. But at the same time, I do think that this is something that really deters away from the competitive aspect of Diablo 3. So if we take a look here, I'm Paragon level 632. I did that in the first month-ish of playing Season 3. You know, I was going really hard at it, and I was committed to the cause. I was committed to, you know, wanting to join a top clan and really be pushing for a top 5 leaderboard spot. And it just didn't happen. And the reason it didn't happen is that by the time I reached this Paragon level, people were already sitting at Paragon 900, Paragon 1000, and they just weren't interested in anybody below Paragon 750. And even now I've taken a break from the game, and I'm not going to be able to get any play for that. So that's a big deterrent for me personally, and I played back in the day when Paragon 100 was the cap, and sure, people who played, you know, 9 hours a day, and they were able to be, you know, top based on how much time they had to play. You know, they were going to get to Paragon 100 first, but, you know, if you kept chugging away, you know, you would eventually catch up. So I'm really not a fan of the uncapped Paragon system. I think it promotes an unhealthy style of play for people who want to be competitive. And I think that, you know, it takes away from a bit of the skill portion of Diablo 3, unfortunately. They just announced today on the PTR patch that there is going to be adjusted Paragon experience for up to Paragon 2000, which I just think is insane. I mean, you see people already at Paragon 1400, and it's an immediate deterrent for me personally, wanting to invest a lot of time into this game. It's just not something I'm ever going to be able to keep up with. Another deterrent, and this might also catch some heat, but I can't tell you really the last time I was genuinely excited about getting loot in Diablo 3. And I mean that from a perspective, I'll pop into a rift here and just be able to do some playing at least while I'm talking. But, you know, one of the things that I really didn't like about this season in particular is that I felt that I geared up so quickly. And I know that I was investing a lot of time, but I still feel that even for somebody investing a lot of time into the game, you should not be near perfectly, optimally geared out in a month of solid playing. That's just a little bit too fast, and again, you know, it really causes, you know, boredom in playing the game that way. You know, people who play for 10, 11 hours a day, they're enjoying the game just the same as anybody who's playing for an hour or two. And, you know, they don't want to feel like they're bored with the game that they're investing that much more time into. They want there to be a little bit more progression for something other than just watching your Paragon level go up. So I really do think that Kadala is a little bit too powerful. I do think that she needs a bit of a nerf. You shouldn't be able to gear up characters almost entirely through Kadala. Gambling wasn't intended with that design. It was intended to just be, hey, you know what, you got an extra shot at getting some gear that you normally wouldn't have a chance at if it didn't drop for you. And I don't think that it being a best method of leveling, like, hey, what's the fastest way I can obtain blood shards to level? It's not good for the game. You need to be able to get your gear through drops more so. The last thing that I'll have a little bit of a rant about here when it comes to Diablo 3 is, again, you know, being pigeonholed into one optimal spec. You know, Diablo still has some balance issues to work out as far as that's concerned. Look at the new PTR. It doesn't really look like there's going to be too much of a difference for the actual play style of certain classes as far as the sets go. You know, Witch Doctor's new set is looking really underpowered. Barbarian's new items aren't really going to detract too much away from already existing Raidcore or Waste set. You know, monks are looking really overpowered right now, but ultimately, you know, I would look at this and go, hey, you know, I'm a barbarian, I like playing barbarian, but do I want to go another entire season using Waste and using Whirlwind, or, you know, for someone who's been playing Raidcore Barb to play that for the last 3 straight seasons? You know, I think that if you're going to add new sets, you know, Blizzard really does need to stray away from the mentality of, hey, you know what, this patch it's your turn, and this patch it's Demon Hunter's time to shine with a new set, and this patch it's Monk's time to shine with a new set. They really should put in the effort for every single class, you know, to have something new to look forward to each season. And right now that's just not really how it's working out. Those are 3 main reasons why I'm not entirely sure if I'm going to dedicate a bunch of time into Diablo 3 for Season 4, especially just knowing that on a time basis period, I'm just not going to be able to keep up with anybody that is in the top, even 25 right now on the leaderboards. I'm not going to be able to get into a top clan, and you know, I'm somebody that likes to play the game and be good and competitive with it, and you know, I think other games do a better job of having a balance between time invested and skill. And maybe it's cynical of me to think that Diablo 3 could be more of a skill-based game as opposed to a time investment game. But as long as it stays a really big time investing grind where you're playing 10 hours a day, every day, from season beginning until season end, sometimes even more, to stay competitive, that's going to be a real deterrent for me personally. I know it's a deterrent for a lot of other people that I like to play Diablo with, just looking at these guys and saying, I don't have that kind of time, man. So, I don't know if you guys have noticed, but I have a new overlay. So hopefully you guys enjoy the new overlay. I plan to get back onto Twitch. If I'm not going to be streaming Diablo, I am going to be streaming Hearthstone. I might stream a little bit of World of Warcraft. I like to keep it within the Blizzard realm of things, but with BlizzCon coming up, I'm really hoping that Overwatch beta keys are part of that, and that I can get invited to that, because that's something that I really want to sink my teeth into. Otherwise, hope you guys enjoyed my little bit of a rant. I do think there's a lot of great things about Diablo, don't get me wrong. When I look at my games list, I honestly look and say, you know what, I would love to play Diablo, and I do, and I hop on and, you know, I do a rift here and there. And, you know, the Diablo is obviously the most fun when you're starting out, you're gearing up, and there's nothing wrong with that process. I love that, and I love Diablo, but it's just not a game that I think, it's not perfect. And I hope that Blizzard does take feedback into mind when it comes to, hey, you know what, let's make sure that the people who want to invest that amount of time, the 10, 12 hours a day, they get a reward in some way, but we also have a balance so that other people can keep up and stay competitive. So thanks for watching the video, guys. Hopefully the sound is great, hopefully the overlay is great, and hopefully the video quality is good. If you guys want to hit me up on Twitter with any discussions, you want to hit me up, I'm on Diablo Fans MMO Champion. I have my Twitter and Facebook pages linked below, and as well as the overlay. So thanks for watching, guys. I'll post some new content soon, I promise. Cheers.